folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Praise the Lord. It is a great day to lift up his name. Praise his holy name. Every day is a good day for that, right? I mean, the world's crazy. It's falling apart. And I'm sure every one of you watching right now could sit here and list off something that's not going well in your life, or at least recently. You know, financial problems. A lot of people hurting right now. It's tough. Medical problems within your family, within your relationships. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and I've been warning you and talking about this for a while. It's the times that we live in. You know, if you read in the Bible, it talks about how as we get closer and closer to the end, the world just is more evil. It's darker. It's just harder for light to do its thing. I don't know how to put it. So don't let the world and its problems and you and all the problems that are revolving around your life get you down, because God is still in control. Yeshua is still doing amazing, miraculous works. So don't forget that. Anyways, I just thought I would say that because I think we all need to hear that. I mean, you know, we know that, right? I didn't say anything you didn't already know. But we always need to help lift each other up sometimes. So Russia has said that they are still open to some kind of peaceful solution, but that they are not holding back on Ukraine, and they have been hitting Ukraine quite hard with attacks recently. It's still kind of up in the air of what's going on with the United States in regards to that. I mean, I'm not pushing for us to continue backing and funding and everything Ukraine. You know, that's certainly not it. But it's just very mixed messaging. President Trump, the White House, is saying that we're no longer, funding and supporting Ukraine, but we are selling a lot of munitions, long-range munitions even, to Ukraine, well, through NATO. And the Pentagon has stated this week that they have been restricting Ukraine from using our weapons long-range into Russia. But there's also been hints from the president that may change. So if Russia, and the president also has indicated that he's very upset that Russia is just not willing to bend and all this kind of stuff. You know, they're not willing to. Now they're saying, this recent round of peaceful negotiations, they acted like that they would agree to some things, and then at the last minute said, well, yeah, but Ukraine has an illegitimate leader, so yeah, we can't agree to any of that stuff. We can't, we won't accept his signature, we won't accept him signing off on anything. So basically all the stuff that they agreed to just kind of went out the window because of that. The president had given them 2 weeks again to make up their mind, and we're into the first week now, so we'll see how that all happens. It's not going to be good. I mean, it's probably going to be kind of like Israel and Gaza. If you've been paying attention to that, they're doing their little ground invasion into the Gaza Strip, and strangely enough, there's not really been a lot of big news covering it. I mean, nothing on the big news side, but now they're saying they're about done. That they're going to wrap this up and they're going to be done because they've just about conquered it. And so that's the solution, I guess, to peace, is just to let them finish and conquer it. So maybe that's going to be with Russia. Russia's just going to, do what they had planned on doing and conquering, parts of Ukraine. And then they'll say, oh, now it's over. Now we have peace after we've conquered you. I don't know. Another thing that there's been a lot of talk of in the last day or two is autism and vaccines and all. I don't know if I can even really talk about this anymore. It's strange because back before, when folks like me were getting demonetized and suspended for talking about pokey pokes, It was because, the excuse was, well, you're going against the official narrative of the government and the FDA and the CDC. Well, now that's not the case. So, if I say something, I can say, well, hey, that's what the FDA is saying now. But RFK Jr. is hinting around that next month the FDA will announce the real reason why autism is happening, and it's hinting around the fact that it could be pokey pokes. I don't know. And then yesterday they took the COVID vax off of any recommended list for people under 65 and that don't have, any type of health problems. So it sounds like in one way they're lessening and weakening up from that, but yet at the same time, just a couple of days ago, Donald Trump, the president, once again, and he has done this so many times, but once again went on this rant about how one of the greatest accomplishments of his presidency was Operation Warp Speed, and how well it was run, and how so many people were poked and all this kind of stuff. So big mixed message there. It's too early. Tongue still hasn't woken up yet. And then, I believe it was yesterday, he had another private meeting with Bill Gates. And there's indication that maybe Bill Gates is switching sides. Apparently, some type of Democratic campaign fund or whatever that he's typically donated to, he's now no longer donating to that. So it makes you wonder, is he now going to join the Trump team? I'm telling you, I don't trust any of this. I don't trust in this. I am a firm believer, and you can tell me I'm wrong, but I believe this way because of life experience. People don't fundamentally change, like at their core. I mean, you can change habits and stuff, but if your character and your core is a certain way, I don't believe a human being is really capable of that unless God himself changes that person, or something major and traumatic happens in that person's life to really change them. And I'm not saying that, well, you're saying that someone that's an alcoholic can't quit being. No, I'm talking about their fundamental who they are, right? It's just not something that people just change. And so I'm not going to believe that, these people that were once far liberals and supported all this evil stuff is just all of a sudden going to switch teams. Something is up with the whole pokey poke and all that kind of stuff. And maybe I'm just too pessimistic, but I have a feeling that they're going to make it look like, oh yeah, we're gonna lighten up on this stuff, and we're not gonna push it that much anymore. But there'll be other things that will be pushed. I mean, the FDA just a few weeks ago approved a new COVID pokey poke that's self-replicating, and so it's not over. Don't get too caught up in some of the posts that I'm seeing online about, oh, hey, we finally got victory. They're going to come out and tell us the truth about autism, and they're going to get rid of COVID pokey pokes and stuff. Don't get too caught up. They're going to throw us a bone. They're going to throw everyone a bone. But I don't believe that we're going to see fundamental change in that. It's just not going to happen. I don't believe it. Either that, or we're going to see, because the technology is being developed then. It's not going to be any needle injection stuff. It's going to be, we're not going to poke it anymore with this mRNA garbage. It's just going to be in your food, and we're going to spray it in the air. And now there was recently, I can't remember who it was, I mentioned it a few weeks back, a company that was developing the technology that the poke, the poke would be transferred to you by touch. And they were actually talking about, there could be, say, doorknobs of buildings that this technology would, when you touch that doorknob, it would give you the shot, and it would be the right amount of dose, and then it would be able to just do that over and over again. So, 10,000 people a day touching a doorknob in a business, and each one of them are getting the same dose. There's some kind of technology they're developing. So it's not over. Don't get too caught up in the fact that, oh my goodness, they're making it. I think they're going to release the truth about as much as they're going to release the Epstein files, right? It'll be a cold day in Hades when we finally know the full truth, complete truth about the Epstein files. The dude's probably on another island somewhere today, sipping pina coladas, laughing at the whole world for all of it. I mean, who knows? It's a messed up place, folks. That's why we have to keep getting prepared. We can see it. It's that handwriting on the wall. The scripture tells us about, seeing the seasons, and those that have an eye to see and the ears to hear. And not everyone does. That's why there's so many people that's still asleep. They've bought into the change, the new normal, and they think things are still just normal, even though they're not. They've just accepted the new normal as normal. And it's constantly changing. They're constantly moving the goalpost and trying to, brainwash you basically into believing that this is it's just normal, folks. This is just normal. It's okay. It's not. And don't buy into it. We have to prepare ourselves and continue to prepare for the things that's going. But on the flip side of that, we also don't want to become downtrodden by it all. Like I said in the beginning of this video, we serve a greater master than all of this. And we already know how it's going to end. Many of you, myself, many of you, we've read the end of the book. We know how it all ends. We just have to get through it. Those that endure to the end shall be saved. And so we have to go through things, but we know how it ends. So we need to find joy in our heart every day. Because there's plenty of good things out there to find joy in. But we still have to prepare. It's both, It's not one or the other. It's both. We still have to get ourselves ready holistically. The physical stuff, the mental preparedness, and most especially spiritually preparing. Because just like I said a minute ago, the world is a dark place. It's getting worse. It's getting more evil. Evil is becoming more and more pervasive and more normalized. So we have to prepare spiritually for that. Folks, get your houses in order. You know the thing. Do it. I'll talk to you later. Catch you in the next video.